everyone. Thank you. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Westside Unitarian Universalist Church. Today, our theme is Rejouissance. I'm sure somewhere my French teacher is cringing at how I said that, but, you know. Joy, experiencing joy. I am Suzanne Molnar, member of the worship committee. I'm today's worship associate, and I'm just thrilled to be able to be worship associate for this service. We are a church who welcomes everyone who can come with heart and mind, irrespective of race, gender, theological beliefs. Come and be with us. People who are here physically, people who are watching and experiencing online. There are a number of announcements which are in your order of service if you're here, and they're up on screen. If you're distant, real quickly, the second Monday lunch is December 12th. So that's tomorrow, if I'm counting right, at the Chop House. The next crafty meeting will be the first week of January. Whatever your love of crafts or art is, you are welcome, and that's here at the church. If you're passionate about economic justice and you want to help, reach out to the local community, volunteer to be an IRS certified tax preparer with volunteer income tax assistance. You do not have to have a degree in accounting. You will be trained to do this. And finally, calling all readers, seeking perfection. Next book club meeting is in January, and the book club will read How to Be Perfect, the correct answer to every moral question. All my relatives want me to read it now. So, read our newsletter for updates on the Yule celebration, which will be on the 21st, Christmas Eve service at 7 o'clock on the 24th, and also, of course, Adult Hour All Our Lives, the new marketing team, oh, okay, Adult RE offerings, and you can subscribe just going to our website. You can also do this, which I do not know how to do, but you can do that. So, welcome, welcome. Glad you're here, glad you're attending, whichever form is. And we'll have our gathering music. Reverend Carol will be explaining what's happening with this.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Suzanne. Good morning. It's good to see you all. If you haven't had a chance to spend some time with me yet, and we haven't met virtually or otherwise, I'm Reverend Carol Bedeau. I am privileged to serve here as minister. I will explain the marketing team. So, we've been talking a lot about how we are in a revival, renewal, reawakening kind of time as a congregation. And so, with that happening, we're thinking about our branding a little bit. So, we had a pandemic. So, some of our media and especially our print media and some other things, we need to do some updates on. And we've decided that we're going to put together a little team to look at all that stuff. So the board has decided to create a little marketing review team that will be working in the new year to look at our brochures and, our logos and our website and our Facebook and our Twitter and our all those kinds of things, Instagram, okay? So that's going to include the staff and also some representation from the congregation and the board. So if you are a person who would like to be part of that, let me or someone on the board know. We're going to be, in the beginning of January, putting together that team and starting to work on those things. So that's what that is all about. Okay, so we're going to be singing a lot today. And also just a reminder that after the service today, you can see the tree is not decorated. After the service today, we're having our holiday party. There's food. We're going to be decorating the tree, putting up our other holiday decorations, and just generally enjoying ourselves for a little while after the service. So please, if you're able, stay for that and enjoy that. And virtually online, wherever you are, be with us in spirit. Go have a cup of cider and eat a Christmas cookie in our honor, wherever you are at home. All right, our first song, Sing and Rejoice. Now, you really don't need a hymnal to do this. What's going to happen is the choir's going to sing through it. We've got some special, coordinating of doing it as a round that we're going to do. So what's going to happen is the choir's going to sing all the way through it, and then we're going to split it into two parts and sing it as a round. And you all can join, once we start the second time through, join in however you feel inspired. This is your chance to be creative and do whatever you like when we sing it. So I'm going to invite the choir to come up, and we're going to sing through it once all the way, and then we are going to go into a round, and you can join however you like.
Sing and rejoice, sing and rejoice. Let all things living now sing and rejoice, sing and rejoice, sing and rejoice, sing and rejoice, sing and rejoice. Let all things living now sing and rejoice, sing and rejoice, sing and rejoice. Let all things living now sing and rejoice, sing and rejoice, sing and rejoice.
You all did that beautifully. And you all followed directions perfectly. No, you all did that perfectly with being conducted and doing it in a unpredictable and creative way. Awesome.
Reverend Carol will now invite our bowl to sound.
All right, today we are rejoicing. So, usually when we think of rejoicing, what we think of is happiness. Today we're going to think of joy in a different way than happiness. So when I invite our bowl to sound, I just invite you to sit with the possibility of holding joy and sadness, celebration and sorrow in the same container. This is a little tricky because we tend to think of them as opposites. Happy and sad are opposites, but joy is something that holds both. Joy is something that allows us to feel a kind of richness even in a world that's struggling. So whatever that means for you, I pose that challenge for you. As the bowl sounds, I invite you to just see what it feels like to hold both of those things at the same time.
For chalice lighting today, I have a lighthearted poem from Sylva Nichols. Let joy come into your heart. She's waiting just outside with the tenderest hands and the sweetest smile that would push the portal wide. She's longing to enter in and be of your life a part, not a transient guest in your troubled breast, but a dweller in your heart. So she waits at the closed door, and beside her sweet peace stands, while radiant hope from a sunny slope is reaching beckoning hands. As they sing like the birds of dawn, each striving to drown care's din, oh, listen and hear their glad songs near, and hasten to let them in. For congregational singing in your blue hymnal, rise if you're willing and able, singing 108, When Our Heart is in a Holy Place.
So this song, choir is going to stand in front so you can see when to start and where to go by watching their mouths. We're going to sing, there is an intro, so there's a few measures of piano music before we sing, and then we sing all three verses, and then when we're done singing all three verses, we go back and we sing the chorus one more time. There's a tricky little hop to the very, very last page, but if you just watch them, you can just kind of copy them and sing whatever works. So our opening reading this morning is from the Persian lyrical poet Hafiz. I sometimes forget that I was created for joy. My mind is too busy. My heart is too heavy for me to remember that I have been called to dance, the sacred dance of life. I was created to smile, to love, to be lifted up, and to lift others up. O sacred one, untangle my feet from all that ensnares, free my soul, that we might dance, and that our dancing might be contagious.
It's now time for our morning offering, which is a form of joy, our ability to support this place, each other, our fantastic minister, and our outreach to the community. Our Share the Plate partner this quarter is SI, which stands for Serving Immigrants. And give as you are willing and able. It is much appreciated.
So this morning, go ahead, the choir is going to be up front. We're going to be singing a song that you all need to be listening to because you're going to be tested on it at the end of the service. All right? We're going to sing it, and at the end, you're going to get to join us in singing it. So this time you get to listen, but next time you're going to have to try it. Okay, without any practice at the end, you're going to have to join in that. You can do it. So, if you hadn't noticed, we have entered the holiday season, right? It is a time filled with the busyness of gifting and gathering and cooking and eating and generally filling our bellies and our lives as full as we can to the brim. At least that's the most common way we tend to celebrate this season. But I want to suggest today that there's something more sacred and more holy at the core of this season of the holy days, even if we are just doing secular celebrations. It doesn't really matter what religion or non-religion you personally believe in. It doesn't really matter whether you prioritize the sacred or the secular stories of the season. It doesn't even really matter if you claim, well, I just don't do holidays. This time of year, something is happening that invites us to shift out of our daily routines, our daily way of doing things, into something different, something perhaps deeper, richer, more vibrant, more vital way of being. The title of today's service, which Suzanne pronounced pretty darn well, I think. I'm not a perfect French speaker, but it's Rejouissance. Rejouissance means rejoicing, and it's something that I would suggest we do or create inside ourselves, not so much outside of ourselves. Joy is a state of being that we cultivate. Rejoicing itself may be an outward expression of that, but it's really starting inside. In many sacred religious holidays of the season, joy is a central theme. So for Christians celebrating the birth of Jesus of Nazareth, there is incredible rejoicing at the arrival of the Savior who had been promised by prophecies. In the Jewish celebration of Hannukah, hope and joy are intertwined as the story of the rededication of the Second Temple of Jerusalem is told. In the story, there's great joy and celebration as the Jewish people retake the temple from Syrian invaders. And they relight the sacred temple menorah, which burns for 8 days, longer than there was enough oil for it to actually burn. This symbolically and historically, for the Jewish people, initiated a long period of independence. And so there's a lot of celebration about that and joy. And in the neo-pagan celebration of Yule, which is the winter solstice, people gather to honor and rejoice year. Once the night of the solstice, the longest night of the year, passes, the days will become longer and the earth will inevitably re-warm. But you don't have to follow any of those traditions or be religious at all to see that the core of this season is somehow meant to make us feel joyful. We hope for joyous reactions to gifts we give to people or to food we bring to gatherings. We want family and friends to be happy in our presence. We have high expectations that we'll have more fun somehow than during the rest of the year. Actually, we stress ourselves out, many of us, to the limit, trying to create all that happiness and fun and joy. And we know that for a lot of people, this is actually a really, really difficult time of year. That in fact, because of all the hype about celebration and being happy, it's actually a time when depression is at the worst in our culture. Too often, the holiday hubbub only serves to remind us of what's not happening at other places and times in our lives. But each of the holiday stories is actually giving us a clue to something that transcends this temporary flurry of December celebrating and partying. The stories suggest a transformation to something more permanent and more internal. And this brings us back to that poem by Hafiz, which I'm going to read again. I want you to think for a minute as I read it, if you believe the statement that Hafiz makes that we are created for joy. I sometimes forget that I was created for joy. My mind is too busy. My heart is too heavy for me to remember that I have been called to dance the sacred dance of life. I was created to smile, to love, to be lifted up, and to lift others up. O sacred one, untangle my feet from all that ensnares. Free my soul, that we might dance and that our dancing might be contagious. What if you were in fact created for joy? What if it's meant to be your permanent and perpetual state of being? Can you imagine that? Just for a minute, think about your life. What if you believed that your natural state of being was joy? How would that happen? How could we make that happen in a world so filled with struggle and strife? So each of the holy stories that I've mentioned, the birth of Jesus of Nazareth, the miraculous burning of the temple menorah, remembered at Hannukah, and the return of the sun at Yule, each of these suggests that we hold on to a deeper kind of joy that cannot be dimmed by the struggles of daily life. At the core of each of these stories, and at the heart of all the holiday traditions we celebrate, the music, the rituals, there are some core values that go beyond the glitter and glamour of the season. Things like hope and joy and truth and promise and faith and magic and persistence and justice and compassion, sharing, generosity, restoration, peace. What if rather than seeing the holiday season as a time to step outside of our ordinary lives to experience these things and do these things only for a few weeks out of the year, what if we took these stories in as reminders that we are made for them? And okay, that message is old, right? Somebody says it every holiday season. It's in lots of books and songs and sermons and movies. I'm thinking of Ebenezer Scrooge's transformation, right? We tell ourselves, yeah, I should do that. And I don't know about you, but for me, holding on to that feeling once January arrives, it's a little tricky. But also, the feeling or the expectation that we have to get it all done and be it all the way, all the time in December is kind of stressful. So how do we do it? How do we be joy rather than wait until culturally defined, and I would add commercially co-opted calendar days tell us, quick, hurry up, it's time to be joyful, celebrate now. Then we get ourselves in this mad rush to prove how happy and generous and hopeful and peaceful we are. And sometimes it works, and that's wonderful, and sometimes it doesn't. Hafiz gives us the answer to the question of how to be it instead of simply perform it. And it doesn't matter how you interpret O Sacred One. O Sacred One might be, hey, smartest part of myself. Might be spirit of life, might be a deity, whatever it is for you. O Sacred One, he says, untangle my feet from all that ensnares and free my soul. The cookie baking and the gift wrapping and the family gathering are all really intended to do that, to help us get untangled, free of the snares. Too often, though, they become snares in and of themselves. So what would getting untangled look like for you? It isn't necessarily the same for all of us. What one person needs to feel free or unentangled is completely different from another person. The soul, the self, the spirit has all sorts of unique and infinite variety. So we might want to experience and express and do things that for other people would be an incredible chore. So take a minute and think about what it means for you to feel free and really, truly, not just like, I'm happy, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, but like deep joy, a sense of rightness, a sense of well-being, no matter what is happening around you. For some people, it means not celebrating the holiday hoopla, which is too stressful. For other people, just simply having an excuse to bake is incredibly joyful, that they don't allow themselves at other times. For some people, freeing the soul might mean taking time to grieve, to truly grieve, things that we've been too busy to grieve the rest of the year. For some, freeing the soul might mean changing the weekly, now contemplate this, what if you changed your weekly schedule all year? Truly freeing the soul might mean that the schedule you wish you had, you don't have. What if for even 15 minutes you took that time to do that thing you say you don't have time to do? You might need to make peace with a family member. You might need to clean out a closet of old clothes or old stuff or old memories. You might want to finally learn the hobby that's been enticing you or let go of volunteer responsibilities that are weighing you down. I think one of the things that we tend to do is we tend to try to get this part of the holiday season, the being, into New Year's. That's our New Year's resolution. By gosh, this year, here's what I'm going to do. But then it's performative. It's performative. It's not internal. It's not necessarily about joy. So whatever it is, perhaps during the season when we have a social sanction to enrich our lives and the lives of those we love, we might shift to a more subtle and lasting way of becoming joy that's inside of us. The potential for joy is within each of us, and it's, as I was saying before, it's different than happiness. Now, this is semantic. This is the way I use these words, but I think the distinction is important. For me, happiness refers to momentary experiences of pleasure and fun. I'm having a happy time. I'm feeling happy right now. But joy is something deeper. It's something else. Because joy for me persists in the face of grief and longing and struggle. Joy is a feeling of well-being that holds steady in a world of suffering because it is tied to something that transcends momentary circumstances. It's something that I alone can cultivate in myself, and yet it's best shared with others when we dance together. Free our souls that we might dance and that our dancing might be contagious. So think for a moment what it would mean to you to cultivate a deep and lasting joy. What would that mean? For me, it means deciding that I'm not too busy to play a game of cards every evening after dinner with my partner. For someone else, it might mean deciding that that thing that they think they absolutely have to do, that's a total obligation, that maybe they don't have to do it this time. Think about what it is for you. What would free joy that would give you a sense of being true to yourself and true to what you love, regardless of what's happening around you? So today after our service, one of the things we're going to do is we're going to decorate this tree. The undecorated tree. The tree is seemingly bare, but it's also beautiful anyway. Right? It's got symmetry, it's got symbolism, and one of the things that that tree talks about at this time of year is potential. Now, if I were to pick out 4 people out of this congregation and say, how would you decorate this tree? I would get 4 different answers. Some people would say, well, it should all be one color. This year should be the white tree or the gold tree or the blue tree, right? Somebody else might say, no, the tree is all about the traditions. I need that ornament from when I was 4 and when my kids were 3, and I need that other ornament that my best friend gave me, and it doesn't matter what color they are, that's not irrelevant. I care about the symbols of the traditions. Somebody else might say, well, we shouldn't have trees. I want to have, I don't know, a living tree or a Yule log because it's a different tradition. But it's a symbol of potential. One of the things we do at this time of year is we take blank surfaces like the walls of this building, the branches of a tree, the mantle over the fireplace, and we do something creative with it. That is merely a symbol of our lives. It is too easy for us to think that our lives are already scripted. Maybe they're scripted because of the age we are. Maybe they're scripted because of our physical abilities or our financial circumstances. Maybe they're already scripted because of our family or our social context. We have a tendency to think that our lives are already scripted, and that can deprive us of that deep sense of joy. What if the symbols of the tree and the decorating are all about saying, well, you know, I actually am a creator of my own life. I actually have the potential to create joy. So today, our service is going to be a little bit shorter because we're going to eat food and decorate. But I'm going to invite you, and I'm thinking that maybe what I'm going to do is ask some of you directly while we're milling about, or when I talk to you in the coming week or a couple of weeks if you're here with us virtually, I might just ask you, so what would joy mean for you? What's the blank slate, blank canvas in your life that you have the possibility to decorate? During the season of the holy days, the holidays, we are likely to experience many feelings: annoyance, impatience, happiness, elation, disappointment, loss, memories both sad and happy, the bittersweet feeling that comes when we think about the past that was joyful and we appreciate the moments of pleasure and connection, but now they are changed. The purpose of this community and all community is to cultivate the sort of deep joy and well-being that carries us through all of those things. We are here to cultivate a way of being, not things we do, but a way of being that holds us in happy moments and sad. We cannot necessarily alter the circumstances outside of us. There will always be suffering. There will always be struggle. There will always be strife. And yet, I believe we were made for joy. And joy comes from allowing ourselves to be who we really would love to be in even small ways. Now today, in your order of service, it says we're having a new member welcoming. And here's the deal. The two new members who are going to be welcoming today, one of them can't make it because they're with family and friends, and another one can't make it because they're having a plumbing emergency. Because that is how life goes. Because that is the way life is, right? So Barbara Chapin and Michelle Knifing are both joining Westside, and we are joyful at that. And we hold them even in the whatever else is going on. They are here in our hearts. They are here with us in spirit. I invite you, when we are done with our service today, to celebrate with one another, not in the spirit of asking, what are you doing? Here's a challenge for you. Find one person today when we're gathered together, and instead of asking you, well, what you up to? What you been doing? Ask the deeper question, how are you being? Where's your joy? Take the risk and just reach out and ask someone about their deeper joy. I hope that the way we welcome each other, whether we've known each other for years or whether we're new to each other, you will see that Elizabeth can point to the new board in the corner, our lovely new trifold board, which is a way to get to know each other better. Elizabeth, our membership coordinator, has created this wonderful board with information about people in this congregation of all different levels of having been here different amounts of time. Let us deepen into our connections. Let us remember that there's always room for more depth, more connection, more love, more hope, and more peace. No matter what's happening around us, we have one another, and there is always room here for more joy. So, with that spirit in mind, here is where your test, your musical test, comes in. You heard the choir sing Gaudeamus. Now, here's what we're going to do. You're going to get to join in the singing. You can dance if you want to. You get to join in the singing. You can stay seated. By all means, stay seated so that you don't have the added pressure of trying to juggle the hymnal. Figure it out. Gaudeamus is number 390 in the gray hymnal. Gaudeamus means basically celebrating, rejoicing. Actually, it refers specifically to students doing that. So you all are the appropriate audience for this because you're all learning it. What's going to happen is we are going to sing it all the way through. You can join in whenever you like. We're going to sing it from the beginning to the end. And then the choir is going to break into parts. If you look at that in your hymnal, you'll see there's a 1 and a 2 and a 3. And the choir is going to break into, some of them are going to sing 1, and some of them are going to sing 2, and some of them are going to sing 3. You can do whatever you want. You can sing it all the way through. You can pick one part that you like and sing it over and over again. You can watch in awe quietly as it happens. Whatever brings you joy in your heart, you can do. But I'm going to ask the choir to come up, and we are going to sing, and we'll sing it as many times as it happens. So come on up. So again, the choir's going to sing it all the way through once, And they're going to break into parts, and I'm going to turn around and look at you and try to help you in any way I can. You can sing it all the way through, or you can pick a part you like, all right? 1, 2, ready, go.
Gaudeamus, Gaudeamus, Gaudeamus Hodie. Gaudeamus, Gaudeamus Hodie. Gaudeamus Hodie.
Oh, you all rock. Give yourself a round of applause. That was awesome. That was awesome. That was really good, you guys. Yeah. So I'm going to put Michelle on the spot. Michelle, we just said your name. Just wave your hand. There's Michelle. How's the plumbing? Everything okay at home? Excellent. I have a little gift up here for you, so after the service you can come on up and grab it. So, well, sure we can do it now if Michelle's willing. Come on up. Absolutely. So the other person, Barbara, is also not here. You came at just the right time for us to be. So everyone, this is Michelle. Welcome to Michelle. Some of you got a chance to meet Michelle at Picket, and I've also noticed a whole lot of coffee hour work going on lately. So
She knows how to do the dishwasher.
and she knows how to do the dishwasher already, so that's awesome. So what the little gift I have for you, little welcome gift, is to represent both the holiday season, but also the light. One of our favorite songs is This Little Light of Mine. It's kind of a you anthem, because we represent the chalice inside ourselves. So that is a little reminder of that we honor the light that is within you and are so glad to have your light here with us. Welcome. So round of applause for you. Excellent. Please, if you haven't yet met Michelle, take a minute during our celebration this afternoon to say hello. Is she on the board? Elizabeth's pointing to the board. She's on the board. So Elizabeth, could you post the information that's on those on the website as well, so that people who are with us virtually could also see that? Fantastic. Our formal service is coming to an end, but we are going to be celebrating this community and also doing a little creative work with the blank slate that is our space and our community life together. I'm going to extinguish the chalice, but we will be lighting the tree. We will be lighting up. We have some Hannukah, blue and white Hannukah lights that we put on the back of the chancel table. We are going into our holiday season, and it is my deep joy to be with you all in this. We extinguish the chalice, but we honor the light within each person. We remember the warmth of community, the seeking for truth, the light of seeking for new information and new ways, and the fire of commitment towards justice, love, peace. So go in peace, go in passion, stay in party.